Welcome to Verses from the Vault, aka Back Then Bars. This is episode 2. If you were here with us last week and you came back, God bless you. You must love foolishness and unhingedness and getting an insight into little Jaylene. So we're just gonna go ahead and continue that. So once again, we are working from these two books. This one and this one. These are my old poetry notebooks. This is back before I started actually spending real money on my books, because now my books are leather and they are Italian, okay? That wasn't a good one. So we have upgraded, you know, the bars have upgraded, but also the book has upgraded, because what is this, child? Just falling apart, okay? Anyway, okay, so today we're reading from this book for the first time, and I have poems in here from 2001. I think I was in 7th grade. This particular poem we got today is from 2004. I believe in the intro. It says, "Hey, Mrs. K. Murphy from my 10th grade English class." 10th grade English class. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Has introduced us to a form of poetry called two-voice poem. Here it goes. Like it? Here it go. No, wanna hear it? Here it go. That's the energy you gave. Okay, so before I read this, if you joined me for this week's Monday mic drop, and if you didn't, please go back and look at it. I posted my Wicked poem, It's What I Want to Be, and that is a two-voice poem. So this is the poem that introduced me to two-voice poems. Well, I should say this is child words. Okay, this is when I was first introduced to two-voice poems. Shout out to Mrs. K. Murphy, and I immediately fell in love with them. And yeah. That's so cool that we get to see where my love for two-voice poems came from. Side note, before I read this poem, I just want to tell you a little bit about this book. So, you know, first of all, I always, whether it's a journal or a diary, I have to have a page that says, "This is private." Okay? Do not, what does it say? Do not go past this point. Thank you. I remember in one of my diaries, I wrote something like that, and then I was like, God is watching you. Anyway, so as a child, I was heavy into celebrity crushes, and so I'm so mad. So this book, I did a lot of gluing and pasting things in, even with some of the poems, but because the glue, I guess, was not good glue, it didn't stick for a lot of stuff. So I had pictures in here, but they have fallen off and I don't know where they are. But I put all my husbands, and this is not even all of them, but what I would do, because I've always been a very type A girly, I would get information from my crushes from like those little, what were those magazines called? I want to say Word Up, but I don't think that was it. There was these little teen magazines. I'm gonna look it up, and if I find it, I'll put it here. But they would have like features on certain artists and certain celebs, and they would ask them questions. So if they asked them questions, I would put the answers in here. So this was my page for my number one husband at the time, Kobe Bean Bryant. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Kobe. But on the top, I put married August 16th, 1999. Like I had the date that we were married. This one, he didn't, I don't have a lot of information here. I just have his name, middle name, birthday, birthplace, Philadelphia, PA. Funny that now I live in the Philly area and he's actually from Lower Marion. That's where Kobe grew up. Anyway, okay. So then I had Mario Dwar Barrett. Okay. His picture was right here. Birthday, birthplace, Baltimore, Maryland. Then we have all these favorite sport, favorite drink. We had Demario Monte Thornton, aka Radsby. We also had Nick Scott Cannon. And then it stopped, although I also considered Chris Tucker as one of my husbands. So he's the only one that's missing. This was me, little Jaylene. Anyway, let's get back to the poetry. This is my two-voice poem. As you can see, the page, flip like this because you have the two columns. All right, let's get into it. This is The Reason I Love You. I love you. Love means so much, so little to me. I love your mind, body, your heart, your face, your touch. To me, you mean the world. You're just my girl. I can't explain how strongly I want to feel you. All the time we spend together is something I wouldn't give up for. Doesn't mean hardly anything. You're so sweet, beautiful. I love the things you say, you do. There's such a mental, physical connection between us. And that's only why I say I love you. So yes, once I found out about two-voice poems, I was like, this is so cool. You have two individual poems that can stand on their own, but you can put them side by side and have the lines interact with one another and show two different perspectives on one topic. Yeah, I loved that. And so I wrote that was my first two-voice poem. I wrote one in college. I was the founder and president of Ithaca College's first spoken word poetry organization called Spit That. And we did a two-voice about, it was for a group on campus called I See Safe Water, like Ithaca College Safe Water. And I know I remember I did a wordplay situation about I see safe water versus I see safe water, You know how I do. If you've been watching Breaking Down the Bars, then you know I love wordplay. So yeah, anyway, so yes, this was my first two-voice. The I see one was the second, and the Wicked poem was the third. So I need to write more two-voice. I do love that. Side note, I'm going to cover it because I don't want to put the names. But if you look here, you can see that it says, my Chinese foods up till today. So one thing about me as a child, I loved a little code name. So me and my friends had code words for everything. Shout out to the dust. The dust that just wants to continue. Yep, there it goes. To continue to fly by the camera. But you know what? It's okay. I love the little code word. Okay, so Chinese food. If you had Chinese food with somebody, that means you went out with them. If you had soul food with them, that means you just messed with them. Maybe a little kiss here or something like that. But that wasn't your boyfriend. That wasn't your boyfriend, girlfriend. You was just messing with them. So I, again, very type A girly, I wanted to write out everyone who I had Chinese food with up until that time and who I had soul food with, okay? Oh, little Jaylene. Little Jaylene was something else. Anyway, okay, so I think that's it for today's verses from the vault, aka Back Then Bars. Yes, shout out to Mrs. K. Murphy for introducing me to two-voice poems, because clearly here we are in 2025 and I still love them and am still creating art with two-voice poems. So yeah, join me next week. Let's see what we get into. Okay, bye. I know I ended it, but I just want to come back real quick and say, how is it that in both episodes that I've done, the last week's and the one I'm doing right now, how do I have hair? I had hair on my right here. The first week one, I had a little hair right here. I didn't notice any of these until I finished shooting. Then I went back, and in the first part of this video, now I had more. I had a hair here and a hair here. Come on now. I'm not shooting it again, so you just gonna get the hairs on my shirt. But I think it's because I keep, adjusting this hair, and then, I get. All right, week 3, I'm not gonna have no hairs on my. Look, see, because I went like that. The joys of being a black girl. A black girl in her hair, which is the name of my EP. So go stream it. Go run it up on all major streaming platforms. A black girl in her hair. Okay.